Hello everyone, and welcome to another Let's Play. My name is Anna Mardal, and this is The Crown and the Flame Book 1 from the Choices app game. Today we're doing Chapter 11, where we get to go through the desert to meet the Technocrats. Chapter 11 of 18, a sinister new face arrives at Stormholt Castle as Kenna enters the labyrinth of the Technocrats. Which does not seem to be on this map, but I think it's over here to the right where it says the Foundry. I think. Not sure about that. Chapter 11, the Technocrats. You and your small group are wandering through the desert south of Aurelia toward the city of the Technocrats. It's so fast. Legends once said that this desert marked the end of the world. It does, in a way, as these sands stretch all the way to the sea. Being out here is better than dying in those blasted mountains. Worry not, this desert provides plenty of opportunities to die. Yeah, ever since Kenna showed up, it's just been one near-death experience after another. This journey hasn't been easy, so thanks for sticking with me. I couldn't have done any of this without you. Oh, well, you're welcome. These Technocrats better be worth all this trouble. They have to be. We need their technology. I've gathered an army of former soldiers and mercenaries. Thanks to Annalise, I've got the money to feed and equip that army. But all of that won't mean anything if we can't break through Stormholt's walls. So for all our sakes, I hope these Technocrats have some siege weaponry that will be up for the job. How much do you know about them, Raiden? It's fair to say I know more than most, but most people know nothing at all. What do you want to know? So we have, where do they come from? Are their inventions that good? What are they like? And we only get one. Before I asked what are they like, and he didn't really know because most people haven't met one. So, where do they come from? From every corner of the world. They were all clever outsiders who sought like-minded people. So they came here to live among their intellectual peers in a society of their own making. How do people who are so different manage to build a society together? They may not share an origin, but they do share a passion for learning and discovery. This is all rumor, you understand. The Technocrats rarely leave the Foundry, the city's center, and it's even rarer that anyone reaches them. I find that hard to believe. This desert might be an annoyance, but it wouldn't stop a determined general from conquering them. I didn't say it was the desert that stopped them. You reach the top of a sand dune. Oh! In the distance, the walls of a massive labyrinth tower over the landscape. They say the maze is impossible to solve. Worse yet, the passages are thick with traps and other dangers to foil would-be invaders. Here I thought our odds couldn't get any worse. I agree with the mercenary. Give me a battle any day over wandering through some maze. I don't care what's in that labyrinth. I'd face 1,000 traps if it meant reclaiming my home. Brave words. Yeah, we'll see how they hold up. Raiden's hand brushes against your arm. Stay close to me in there. I'll watch your back. And I'll watch yours. You make your way towards the labyrinth. Hearing a commotion from the front of the castle, you hurry to investigate. In the courtyard, you find Rose, Tristan, and many other servants watching as several large wagons roll through the front gates. What is all this? I thought we already received our food shipment this week. Tristan, come on, don't be like that. I know you know something. fine. Those carts aren't full of food. I overheard a guard saying they're for the new weapons master. A new weapons master? This must be the secret weapon I heard about. Whatever it is, it looks big. Marco knows Kenna will come for him soon, and he wants to be ready. Look there! I've never seen that woman in Stormhold before. She must be the new weapons master. A dark-haired woman hops down from one of the wagons and bows to Prince Marco. My dear Hex, you certainly took your time getting here. 1,000 apologies, my prince. You know how I am with a new project. I simply couldn't bear to let this one out of the house until I was sure it was perfect. That and our little beast of a power source gave us some trouble on the road. Hex walks to the last wagon, little more than a large iron box on wheels. She knocks on the wall of the box, speaking in a sing-song voice. Isn't that right, beast? Something slams against the inside of the box, making the guards on either side of it jump. Hey, settle down in there. Dominic, what do you think is in that cage? If it's part of their new weapon, it must be something awful. Maybe we can sneak a closer look when... This is exactly why I didn't want to tell you. You're just going to drag us into your schemes and get us all killed. Tristan. No, Dom, I told you already. I'm done. And you should be too, Rose. Tristan storms off. He didn't mean that. It's been hard since our mother... I should give Rose a hug. Rose leans against you, wiping a few tears from her cheeks. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. Margaret was like a mother to me, but I can't imagine how much worse it is for you and Tristan. Every morning I wake up expecting her to be there, chiding for me, sleeping in or humming to herself as she cleans. But she never is. She never will be again. Rose holds back a sob, burying her face in your shoulder. You hold her close until her tears subside. Just remember that she died a hero, protecting the innocent. You're right. She was so brave. I hope I can be as brave as she was. Thank you, Dom. I don't know what I'd do without you. I'm here for you, Rose, whenever you need me. You and your companions walk the desert stands, drawing ever closer to the towering labyrinth. Careful, we shouldn't assume the traps will only be inside the labyrinth's walls. Agreed. We should keep our eyes peeled for any sign of... You! I see you over there. If you're looking for trouble, you've found more than you bargained for. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to the scrawny mutt hiding behind that rock. Come out now before I drag you out by your ears. Slowly, a young man emerges from behind a boulder. As he shows you his empty hands, you see that one is mechanical below the elbow and the other below the wrist. Sorry, I didn't mean any harm. Please don't hurt me. That's exactly what we're going to do if you don't do what we say. We should stop bullying him. He's just a boy. He's obviously not a threat, Val. Relax. Sorry, it's just... I've seen boys younger than him who would take your ear off as a joke. What's your name? It's Whitlock. I'm just trying to get to the foundry. I heard I'd be safe in there. Who told you that? The old blacksmith who worked in my town before the Blood King's troops came and took everyone away. He said there's no war in the foundry, that everyone spends their days building and learning. I'm miserable at fighting. Making things is all I'm good for. Well, Whitlock, we're trying to get to the foundry too. Do you want to join us? Really? You'll let me come with you? I'll take that as a yes. Let's go. I can see the entrance right over there. Passing through a rusted archway, you and your companions take your first steps into the labyrinth. So, just what kind of mortal danger should I expect in here? It could be anything. Poisoned walls, walls that move together to crush you, hidden pitfalls. A death trap. Wonderful. It's not technically a death trap. It's more like a test or a riddle. We have to solve it to prove we're worthy of meeting with the technocrats. Leon walks over to a spot where several arrows are stuck into the wall. He taps the shafts with an armored finger. People don't shoot arrows at riddles. We should find a way to mark our path. If needed, we can retreat back through the entrance. Behind you, a 2-story tall metal door slams down over the archway, completely blocking your escape. Looks like the only way out is through. Just look at this place. The sheer size of it boggles the mind. Those gears over there are massive. As Whitlock moves ahead to examine some machinery, you pull your companions aside. What do you think of him? He seems innocent enough, but many dangerous people do. We should try to find out more about him. Too bad we didn't bring along your new bear friend. Hard to lie staring into those teeth. Don't sell yourself short, my friend. Your visage is equally fearsome. His story doesn't add up. He's just a kid, but he made it this far on his own. He's not telling us everything. And what happened to his hands? You know, I can hear you. Sorry. If you must know, I lost them while I was a squire to a Nevrakis knight. Not a job I would recommend, by the way. You were in the Nevrakis army? Briefly, yes. I'd be happy to tell you the whole story. All you had to do was ask. Let's hear his story. You turn back to Whitlock, looking him up and down. So, Whitlock, how did you come to be here? It must have been a dangerous journey. Not as dangerous as staying home. Where is home exactly? Briarstone, about 100 miles west of here. My family were merchants. Merchants? What's so dangerous about buying and selling all day? I said they were merchants. That was before the Blood King started conscripting everyone in the kingdom to join his army. Panicked shouts split the autumn air, waking you. Looking around, you see that your small house is empty. What's happening? Mother? Father? Running outside, you see scores of armored soldiers dragging people out of their homes. What is this? Who are you people? Quiet, runt. Harmon's about to talk. An armored knight approaches on horseback, surveying the gathered townsfolk. The knight, Harmon, begins to speak. By order of King Nevrakis, all able-bodied citizens of Abanthus must report to the capital for military service. Failure to comply with this order qualifies as treason and will be punished accordingly. Frightened murmurs rise from the crowd as soldiers move among them, dismissing some and pulling others toward large wagons. Hey, runt, stop trying to sneak off. I wasn't. I just need to find my parents. No time for that now, kid. Gotta give everyone their assignments so we can move on to the next town. The soldier looks you up and down. Awfully skinny, aren't you? Probably snap in half if we tried to hand you a sword. Tell you what, Harmon's looking for a new squire. You'd travel with us instead of joining the infantry. I can't. My family. You'll take your assignment like the rest of these peasants. Count yourself lucky we don't use you for target practice. Go wait by the horses, and don't even think about running. Harmon won't tolerate disobedience. I should obey. Nodding meekly, you walk over to the soldiers' horses. Your father's voice rings out from the crowd. Father, where are you? You take a step towards the desperate voice, but a warning look from the angry soldier freezes you in place. Stay put. You stay, watching as your friends, family, and neighbors are sorted with brutal efficiency. Samson, take these recruits to Lycus. The rest of you mount up. Harmon pulls you up onto the horse behind him. You twist in the saddle, looking back at Briarstone one last time. The town's elderly men and women stand in the grass, trying to comfort crying children as the wagons pull away. Just like that, everything I'd ever known was snatched away from me. I didn't want to go with them, but I knew that resisting would just bring more pain to my family and friends. For the next few days, I traveled with Harmon and his soldiers. It was less than pleasant. Days after leaving Briarstone behind, Harmon leads his company through a dense forest. We'll camp here for the night. Falco, check everyone's equipment. Whitlock, see the horses are fed. Yes, sir. As the soldiers set up camp, you start fitting all the horses with feed bags. Nearby, Falco looks over another soldier's armor. Stay still, Eliza. One of the buckles on your pauldron is jammed up. Told you we should have dragged along the blacksmith from the last village. Right, 'cause Harmon would have put up with an old man limping along behind us. Falco looks over at you. Hey kid, come help me with this. My hands are too big to get at the buckle. I can probably help with that. Standing on a boulder, you reach between the plates of Eliza's armor and deftly undo the buckle. Not bad. You've got clever little hands. I've always been good at fixing things. Old Arthur, the blacksmith, let me help him out in the shop sometimes. Lucky for us. We've been out in the field for so long, half of our armor is falling apart. Falco continues his inspection, bringing you anything that's damaged or faulty. These people are basically holding me prisoner. Do I really want to help them? We'll sabotage the armor. Furtively, you weaken chainmail links, wear down fastening straps, and bend armor plates out of shape. These monsters won't be so tough now. The next morning, as the soldiers don their armor, this breastplate fits even worse than yesterday. Hells, was my chainmail this ragged before? That boy is worse than useless. Eliza cuffs you with a gauntleted hand, knocking you to the ground. Ugh. Have a care, Whitlock. This company has no room for dead weight. Every day I spent with those soldiers was just one mistake away from being my last. But I resolved that I wouldn't be complacent in their bloody work, no matter how much they beat me. It became a game of sorts, causing just enough trouble to hinder them, but not enough to get me killed. Weeks pass, and you see the scene at Briarstone replayed again and again in your dreams. One day, you're riding through farmland toward yet another small village. Are we going to do this to every town and village in the country? These peasants have lived peacefully, while King Luther's soldiers die on the battlefield. It's time they did their part. You turn to see Falco slumped in his saddle, an arrow protruding from his shoulder. Shields out, they have longbows. They must have heard about the other villages. They're taking a stand. They won't stand for long. Advance. The whole village turns out to fight Harmon's soldiers, swinging makeshift weapons with wild determination. I don't believe it. They can't possibly win, but they're still fighting. In short order, the villagers are disarmed and rounded up. They stare back at the soldiers, bloody but defiant. I have no use for traitors. Lock them in the barn. Harmon's troops herd the villagers into the barn, locking both doors with heavy chains and padlocks. Is this really necessary? They were only defending their home. Attacking the king's soldiers is treason, and the punishment for treason is death. Harmon accepts a lit torch from one of his soldiers. Soldiers! He pauses for a moment, then holds the torch toward you. Burn it down. What? No! A nod from Harmon, and Elisa knees you in the stomach, knocking the wind out of you. These people are traitors. Do it. Harmon offers you the torch again. I have to refuse. I won't. Eliza knees you again, and you double over in pain. Do it. Refuse. No, this is wrong. Eliza's gauntlet slams into your face. You fall to the ground, tasting blood. I don't give a damn either way, but if you want to live, you'd better do as you're told. I won't do it. Go ahead and kill me. Eliza stares down at you, then shakes her head in disgust. Useless. Eliza takes the torch from Harmon and holds it against the barn door. The dry wood catches fire immediately, hot flames leaping up to consume the front of the barn. Good. Now all of you sweep the rest of the buildings. Take anything of value. The soldiers move to obey, leaving you standing alone by the barn. You hear the screams of trapped villagers inside. They won't last long in there. I have to do something. You dash around to the back of the barn, where the flames haven't yet spread. Pulling a pair of thin files from your tool belt, you slide them into the padlock. I need to pick the lock. The huge padlock springs free. You throw the barn doors wide open. Everyone out! Hurry! Frightened villagers pour out of the barn, shouting tearful thanks as they passed. I did it! I got everyone out! Traitor! You whirl around just in time to see Eliza swing her sword. Instinctively, you reach up to block it. The sword slices clean through your wrist. You clutch your arm, staring at the blood spurting from the place where your hand used to be. An armored fist slams into the side of your head, sending you reeling. I'm disappointed in you, kid. I was hoping you'd come around. Falco hits you again, and you fall to the ground. Coughing blood, you see another armored shape join the others. Get him up. They drag you to your feet, and Harmon draws his broadsword. I have no use for traitors. Harmon's sword comes down. You hear a thump and feel a strange lightness on one side of your body. When I woke up 2 hours later, Harmon and the others were long gone. But the villagers I'd helped had come back. They dressed my wounds, and with their help I constructed my new arms. As I worked, I remembered hearing tales of the legendary technocrat city from Briarstone's blacksmith. It was a place where the strong didn't rule over the weak, where the mind was what mattered. So I cobbled together what supplies I could and left. Now, here I am. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Those memories must have been hard to relive. They are, but they're also a part of who I am now. I'm glad we crossed paths, Whitlock. I have a feeling your particular skills will be very helpful in here. Let's hope so. Be on your guard, everyone. Let's see what the labyrinth has in store for us. Later in the day, you and Rose return to investigate the iron cage. Only 2 guards. I bet we can draw them away with a distraction. I've got an idea. You remember that time I shook out a bag of flour too close to the oven? Like I could ever forget. You could have burned the place down. Right, well, this time we'll be more careful. Come on. Alright, I've got a clear view of the guards through this window. Ready? I suppose. Do try to light. I suppose. Do try not to light the entire kitchen on fire. I'll do my best. Promise. Rose scoops a large handful of flour out of a bag and blows it toward the open window. You focus on the fire burning within you and conjure a flame. You concentrate, blue flame flickering to life in your hand. This ought to make it extra spectacular. You reach into the cloud of flour, which bursts into brilliant flame. Whoa! My gods! A gigantic fireball explodes out the window, shooting into the courtyard. That was spectacular, all right. My heart's pounding like a hammer. Hey! What in the hells is going on over there? Blasted servants! We'll never hear the end of it if they burn down the kitchen. Better check it out. It worked! Both guards are headed this way. I'll keep them here as long as I can. You run out a side door into the courtyard. Once the guards are out of sight, you sneak over to peer through one of the box's small windows. Alright, let's see what kind of monster we have here. Whoa! You jump back, barely avoiding the woman's clawing hands. You're not a monster. Why are you in this cage? What do you have to do with that weapon? The woman's gaze flicks down to your chest. She stiffens. The flame. Wait, you mean my brand? You know what it means? Do you? No. The woman reaches up with chained hands. She pulls aside the collar of her shirt. You have it too. Who are you? Say Ruka. Or Sai? See? Is it see, say, or Sai? Well, EI makes an E sound when it's either. So let's say C. C. My name's Dominic. Where do you... You're interrupted by the sound of clanking armor and spot the two guards coming around the corner. Didn't I tell you we'd catch hells for leaving our post? Uh-oh. Just shut up and unlock the cage. Lady Hex isn't the patient type when she's running her tests. I have to go, but I'll come back, I promise. You take one last look at C, then run for the castle before you can be seen. And that's the chapter. You listen to Whitlock talk about his past. Whitlock will remember that you listened. And look at all the people we have. Prestige, weapons, allies. Army score 313 out of 313. So that was chapter 11 of The Crown and the Flame. There's 18 chapters total, so, we've got 7 more. And things are going to start getting exciting soon. They're already pretty exciting, so now we're going to get double excitement. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for everybody who's coming along. If you're liking these, maybe leave a comment, because I love to get the comments and I read all of them. So that makes me excited. I do the little, likes next to them. But it's good to know that people are coming along with me on this. So, and hopefully enjoying it as much as I do. I really like this book a lot. So I will see you in the next video, which will be chapter 12. And once again, my name is Anna Mardal, and this is The Crown and the Flame in the Choices app. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.